Hi, I'm Lance, and as you know, I'm a INTP type personality. And one of the things I noticed on many websites was that people of my type personality often take on what they call a chameleon type personality when dealing with others. What I mean by this is if I'm speaking to, say, a right wing religious person, that when I'm sitting talking to them, I'm trying to fit the mold that they can talk to. I'm trying to mimic that person to try to learn about them and um, maybe take on that persona, the persona of the person I'm talking to. And often I hide my own thoughts and feelings, and I communicate with them this way. It's often just to learn about their personality. I'm not being I'm not being ingenuine or whatever. I'm trying to fit in and to adjust my personality to where I can have a meaningful conversation with them. Because as you know, INTPs and similar introverted personalities, uh, most personalities are different than ours. So I make adjustments, and like I said, I take on a chameleon personality. I role play. I try to get to where they're coming from, try to understand them, and that way we can have an intelligent conversation, and I can relate to them. Um, Another example would be if someone was from the far political left, and I would mimic and become that person. They would have no idea that I didn't have the exact same beliefs that they did. I find that most people are not very objective. Most people, they believe what they were taught. They never question anything, whether it's racial, political, religious. They always seem to have a very firm belief, but they have no reasoning for why they believe what they believe. And since I have a INTP type personality or any similar personality, I often find myself role playing or being a comedian, changing my personality to fit theirs so that I can have that conversation with them and I can learn to where they're coming from. And I find I do this a lot. I find I have a lot of trouble relating to some personalities, so I adjust myself to where I can have meaningful relationships and personalities. And since most people are not objective, if you throw any other point of view at them, it just totally throws them out. That they're not able to handle, I guess, different points of view as easily as I am. I can often put myself in others' shoes, understand where they're coming from, and I'm very open-minded about stuff like that. You voted for Obama, and I understand how he came through life and why he believes what he believes, and I can talk to a liberal and I can get along with them fine, and I truly understand where they're coming from, why they think the government should be run a certain way. A right-wing politician or someone that's has very conservative views, I can sit down with them and I take on their mannerisms and personality and, like I said, persona to try to relate to them and have a meaningful conversation with them. I think this is pretty common in personalities that are close to mine. I read it on the net a lot in the forums of other people taking on chameleon type personalities to fit in, to learn about other people, to get along, to fit in sometimes. Sometimes I just want to fit in. So if they're very, very religious, I respect their points of view, and the one thing that kind of blows me away, I don't understand, is that people are so, they are not objective, they're subjective. It don't matter, you can go from different churches, different political, the left and the right, and they all believe so strongly, and they are, you really can't sway them very easily. and often I'll throw a question up to make them question their own beliefs, and sometimes it just totally throws them. But it seems like many of those are, they have decided they believe a certain thing, they're never going to question it. I've always questioned authority. I've always questioned why I believe what I believe, and I'm subject, anytime new evidence comes along to the contrary, I'm always subject to changing my views. If the facts are presented to me that are, I find reliable, I would change the way I view. I'm a very open-minded person. I see the world, I believe, the big picture. I'm constantly surrounded by people, and I'm sure there's some of y'all out there that are just absolutely bright and have such open minds, and I'm not a very good speaker, but I am surrounded by people that are very, very close-minded, have very, very narrow points of view. They don't know why they believe what they believe. They're very biased, and you really can't change them. So I found the only thing I can do, each person that's friends with me, I adjust each one of them differently. I take on a role playing that I am a person that relates to them, empathizes with them, and can relate to them no matter what they believe. I may argue with them later on, but for the sake of peace or whatever, I usually try to learn by just letting them express themselves while hiding what I feel. Do any of the rest of you do this? Do any of the rest of you role play? Do any of the rest of you, when you're in a certain group of people, you take on their persona or personality, you take on a comedian type personality to get along, learn, and maybe sometimes you can learn something and understand, where they're coming from. I'd like to hear how you feel about this, and I appreciate your time. Thanks.